And then he was overthrown. And then he went into exile. And that is when he had time to write. He had done a lot of writing when he was in office. But it was when he went into exile, when he was made a co-president of Guinea, that was when he wrote most of his very good books. Dark Days in Ghana, Revolutionary Path. And we got all this. He wrote Warfare. He wrote a lot of books in exile. But the villa that he lived in became a mecca for other African leaders. They went to consult him. So even though he was not recognized as a statesman in terms of being overthrown, he suddenly became a statesman to all and sundry. People from Black America, Kwame Nkrumah and all that, everybody wanted to go to Villa Sila to go and talk to him. And this was when he inspired a lot of politicians in the diaspora. And Obama, who we all praise today, also takes his inspiration from Usagifu, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. When he was ill, he wanted to return to Ghana. But I talk about all these things with sadness because in 1969 there was a political party that wanted to bring Nkrumah back, and the government would not allow it. They banned the CPP, which is our political party. When Nkrumah was ill, they said that if he ever came to Ghana, there would be a revolution in Ghana. This is one man that they did not only ban his party, but they banned people from selling his picture in the country. In 1966, after the coup, I was in Form 5. They burnt his books. There was a whole bonfire burning Nkrumah's books. They threw his statue out. They did everything to obliterate his name. But this was one man. They would not let him come to Ghana to die. So he died in Bucharest. And then he was buried in Guinea initially. And then he was buried in Accra initially. And then he was buried in Nkrumah. And then he's been reburied in Accra. And people are now saying that they want to take his body. And I'm sure that people in Manchester would also come down. Like, why don't we bury Nkrumah here? This is one man who died and he's been buried several times. I'm sure that in 10 years' time somebody will say, let's go and bury him somewhere. He didn't tell us. Nkrumah did not see his children when he went into exile. Samia, who is now a member of parliament, was barely, I think, six years when he never saw his father till the father died. Kamal didn't see his father again. This was the difficult thing for this great man of Africa. And sometimes when we think of people and we think of why they sacrifice their lives, they do so because of that passion that they have, that they are there to serve their people. These are some of the books that he wrote. Africa Must Unite, Challenge of the Congo, Class Struggle in Africa, Conscientism, Dark Days in Ghana, his autobiography. I speak of his neo-colonialism, the last bit of imperialism, the revolutionary path, Rhodesia Far, the struggle continues, towards colonial Africa, Voice from Conakry. One of the things that I write about, I marvel at, that's the challenge of the Congo, was that when the Congo crisis started, there was a decision to send the United Nations there because the West wanted to take charge of the Congo. When the United Nations got there, there was the Ghana forces already on the ground. There was a major general, a white major general, leading the Ghana forces. When the United Nations took in, they had to salute at the man, Major General Alexander, who Nkrumah had sent there. This was somebody with a vision. This was somebody who said that, let us create an Africa High Command so that we solve all the problems in Africa. Not get British troops to go to Sierra Leone, American troops to go to Sierra Leone, and what they are doing is that they are pillaging our own country, and they are actually telling us that we can't even resolve our own problems. If we had had the African High Command, these are some of the things that would have happened. I speak about Nkrumah with some passion. I'm not that forceful. But what I say is that Nkrumah never dies. His name lives forever. And it is being shown now. Several years after he's died, we celebrated his 100 years. He stands head and shoulders above all statesmen, not only just in Africa, but in the world. His vision still lives on after his death. He has inspired so many people to be Pan-Africanists. And he's inspired people to be adherents of Nkrumahism. And I'm proud to say that I'm Nkrumahist. Because I believe in these key principles. The principle of social justice. That all men are created equal and they should be given all opportunity, because it is when they have that opportunity that they will shine. And I also believe in self-determination. That those things, let us not always blame people for things that happen to us. Because we are our own instruments of change. We can do what things, if there are no good schools for us, let us set up our own schools. If there are problems with knives, let's not leave it to the police. Let's organize as a community and resolve those problems. That is what Nkrumah said. It's about self-determination. That you as a black man can do whatever. And he follows from Gary. People like Gary who said, you can do things. He never forgot his roots in terms of, to me, Nkrumah never died. He said, I'd like Brad Shanko to lead us in Nkrumah never dies, never dies, never dies. Nkrumah never dies. He lives forever. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's give another big round of applause to our brother. We'll just wait until the brothers have finished. And then I'll just say that was very informative and interesting. I certainly learned a lot from it. And what I'd like to do is just to mention, as the brother said, that one of the big influences on Nkrumah was actually our warrior and hero, Marcus Messiah Garvey. He also met Garvey's wives, Amy Ashwood Garvey and Amy Jakes Garvey, during his lifetime. And from what we heard, the imperialists are always looking for ways to be involved in trying to defeat our efforts and to prevent our people from achieving self-determination, hence the exiling of Nkrumah. If you look into our history, this is what they do all the time. They come, when we have leaders who are positive and powerful, they always come in, and unfortunately, they can often find some of us who will collude and collaborate. Thomas Sankara was killed by his own friend in Burkina Faso on behalf of our enemies. So let's now, just also to mention to people that this year, the African community in this country, 24 organizations, came together and had a fantastic commemoration centenary for Nkrumah in Peckham. There have been celebrations through Voice of Africa Radio and other community organizations to honor the work of this great African. So now let's throw the floor open. Sorry?
Multi-faith service?
Absolutely, that's right. There was a multi-faith service in a church in Brixton. For the first time, they invited Africans, Pan-Africanist Africans, because we're all Africans, but unfortunately, some of us are on a different path to